Coffee. A chiad rút een smeunig kuch chaloas a gosglasat en solen sa vatin. Hanner gai fiú smeunig lab a churikal as earnish. Bí misise a gol coffee in níra va gachwa. Ha fissam te ha cartha grim hen agus sin a vis me gal an coni.
Ach, ha liadach mór tían an nui agus an neolalas a heic daine an alapa an a speciality coffee. Ach, Carson. Bríine mi rí fiúin a ha minneolach an nuirstas a tían súl a choffí agus bhí sin súl mar a had ga as, ga dhéosachaig agus ga all. Cud a bhéir an cara. Chanil clú ac yn ffarin tásich mi edmod lia gus barach jónschig mu choffi. Gus becan stúrig agus cutach a horsco a ha mit all a bríri Lisa bo dear green roasted in coffee a ha clú a chosnig gaith pain an alapa. Dear Green started in 2011?
Yep.
What was the coffee scene in Scotland like when you started?
I don't know if there was a scene. I think, yeah, there was a lot of coffee brands, but they certainly weren't Scottish. There was a lot of like European brands. There were the big coffee chains had sort of landed and taken over the high street, but definitely not a specialty coffee culture or scene at the time. So yeah, it was all pretty new and scary to set up Dear Green at that point.
She speciality coffee a chanas rishin ire is arche je coffee a harietin. Agus ha seo a buntin ri mar a haga laisochig. A clachig single origin, no single estate.
I'm at the very beginning of my coffee learning journey. What advice can you give me? Any advice at all?
Sure, yeah. I would suggest that you go to a cupping. So that's where you learn to taste coffee in a scientific manner. So that would be a great start. Also, maybe you should do a little barista training session so you can really learn about espresso extraction.
Okay.
Once you've nailed your espresso, I reckon you should do some latte art lessons as well, because there's nothing worse than having a perfect espresso and then terribly foamed milk on it.
Okay.
So we'll get you doing some microfoam. If you get the microfoam right, you can maybe get some latte art happening as well.
Okay.
So that's a lot of practice
Quite
there,
ambitious,
but yeah, you can do it. It's okay. And then the other side of our world as a roaster is we go to origin. So really, to understand the coffee world, it's not all about the latte art in the cup. It's really about the people who produce the coffee at origin. So once you've done all of that, maybe you can come back and we can see how you're getting on.
Oh, like a test. Okay.
Deal.
Deal.
So a cupping is something that everybody in this coffee supply chain does. It's a way of analysing the sensory attributes of coffee so you can learn more and you can be better at coffee.
Well, that's what I'm looking to do. Train my palate and be better at coffee.
Excellent.
So, where do we begin?
The process of cupping is that we grind the coffee, we smell the dry fragrance, then we smell the wet aroma.
Okay.
We brew the coffee for 3 to 5 minutes, so we let it cool slightly, and then we slurp from a spoon, known as a cupping spoon, which is just a bit like a soup spoon.
Okay.
And we bring the liquid across our palate, we aerate it during the slurping process, make lots of noise.
Wow.
When we're doing that, imagine what your mum tells you not to do when you're having your soup and your kids.
That today.
That's what we do today. So,
That sounds fancy. So we're going to be trying 25 cups of coffee.
25 cups of coffee, yep.
Okay.
And there's one rogue bean somewhere that I've noticed that I try and see if you can identify which cup it's in out of the 25. The way we do this is literally just by nosing the coffee and don't breathe in too much, don't breathe out too much.
So
be very careful and go around and we make sure all 5 bowls actually smell the same for each coffee.
Phallic mat, phallic coffee. I mean, messy again. So we keep on going?
Yeah.
Round all 5
all the way
lines.
around.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going much faster than I am. I need to keep up.
we're going to now move on. We're going to wet the grinds.
Okay.
We're going to time that. And then as soon as I start to pour the water, you can start smelling already. And just try and register what you're experiencing.
Nuair a ha mí githe bíoh, chaníonn sa go bhfuil mí maith difear bhlasan enamachach. Chaníonn mí smaoithe go mórán cheart go maith rimó bhíal. Ha mí úsach maith droch alien enamachach. Stocha gon fáid mí lorach ar a rogue bean a hacin.
So yeah, this is the start of the brew process.
And so it's forming a kind of layer on top there, is it? Kind of.
Yeah, we refer to this as the crust. So the coffee sometimes sits on top as a crust, sometimes it sinks, depends the roast level. So now that we've had our 4-minute brew time, we're going to break the crust. So what we do with each cup is break the crust on the top, and we make sure we do this identically on each cup. So we don't really have any stirring, it's just a 3-stage break. So if we agitate one coffee more than the other, we can encourage more extraction, a higher extraction of the flavours, so the solids and solubles that are released from the coffee grinds. We want to make sure, because this is a tasting protocol, it's a scientific exercise, we want to make sure we do this identically.
Gee, fáilig, ha mí fáin. Stocha messen, actually, ar a hirimach mar cranberry stocha. Hí sin déchanas Lisa. So, what are you doing here?
So, what we call this is cleaning the cups, and essentially what we're doing is just lifting off the crema and any sort of bits of bean or grinds or chaff or anything that might be there that might get stuck in your teeth and make it a bit more difficult to taste.
Spoons in. Chimichael and root a inchneach mean if process shot. She chominatoch Lisa leis shot. Maar de strieke ha mis ik ma mis kapotte. Het is clumsy ach. Ha mi doen kirkelijk. Oh Lisa, I've not been washing my spoons in between each cup.
Oh
no!
You've broken the protocol.
I've broken the protocol.
At a han koffie fuorach, gai sin súl Michael féis koffie glasachu. Ha mi seo ag féis koffie glasachu, gus cannach gritaine a ha an leib gníomhchus koffie na halape, gus barach bionsachu, agus lorach cutchicin a líana sioga. Hugin. Had is dala, ha daine féin curm fiachin classichan latte art, cuppings, agus a bhí géisteach origin. Oh, hai got drang. Femi go bhfuil muintear glasgow mesal coffee.
At the first festival, I think there were possibly 2 or 3 small roasteries in Glasgow, a few more scattered around Scotland, and yeah, maybe just other people who were curious. And now it's got to the point we have so many roasteries, we have a real barista culture, and then this year we're hosting the UK Latte Art Championship. So
it's amazing. It speaks for itself, yeah. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Hi, Ian toch. We gaan aan de wijn, hoeveel juffer koffie aan, ach juffer gooien aan, ga ulachig, agus kutjach, een banje hou, ga goed aan kutjach. Has je Ian toch? Gion zich tor. Kan je vissen je aardig je koffie has je neigestich, fiket te hun. Kan je vissen? Kom in me
The first coffee, which is this tray here, is our Marcella Geisha. It's from Colombia, and it's processed using a process called carbonic maceration. So what carbonic maceration is it's a fermentation technique taken from the wine industry, which involves putting the coffee cherries in a big tank and pumping loads of carbon dioxide into them. All right?
Okay. Carbonically macerated.
Carbonic maceration, yeah.
Maceration.
Yeah. This coffee varietal also holds the record for the most expensive coffee ever sold at auction.
Apper gyfer syl y choffi an an alba eidval. Kjarst. En taun blasset ein my choffi er asig dier green. Hugin.
now do we get to taste it?
Indeed.
Okay.
Yes. So I think it took us a little while, so it's cooled down to the perfect temperature.
Okay. It took us a little while because I was very slow.
Sometimes we cup, quite often we'll cup coffee a few times because as it cools, the flavour can change. Trust your I don't know, all your experiences of smelling and tasting your entire life.
Okay.
And channel that into this coffee tasting experience and see what you can recognise. Okay, so we're taking a small amount on our spoon, and then we're going to slurp and aerate the liquids across our palate. We're going to maybe hold it on our palate a little minute before we swallow as well.
Okay.
And maybe we can breathe in and out a little bit as well also while we still have it in our mouth.
Okay.
And that'll just help us have a full experience of that coffee, and then maybe we can pinpoint some flavour notes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm going to watch you. Okay, that was quite an aggressive slurp.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's the kind of intensity you want?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then we have to go through all of the other cups.
All the other ones, okay. Oh! Interesting, I didn't make a mess, that was quite good.
Well done. Yep, we rinse always before we go into the next
rinse.
cup.
I'm not good at doing that. To do a more aggressive slurp. Not that aggressive. Did you sniff before you slurped?
No.
No, okay, that's fine.
They all have a fruit quality, I would say. They're all high quality coffee, so they all are very complex in terms of flavour notes. There's high acidity, so acidity makes your mouth water and makes you instantly think of a fruit. I'd like to see what you think of the next one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Exciting, here we go. Oh, this is not going well. I think, do you know which one the Rogue cup is?
I'm just double checking.
Okay.
Do you know?
Well, I initially thought it was this one.
To be honest, it's very subtle. I believe this is a Rwandan coffee, and there's a common defect from Rwanda and Burundi, and it's referred to as the potato defect.
Oh.
It smells like roast potatoes.
Oh.
Or raw potato.
This one was just a bit more, what's a good word, kind of brighter, maybe. Yeah. And this one felt a bit duller. Yeah. So it is this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well done.
Oh, I'm well chuffed for that.
You like this one?
So I'm actually going to swallow that because I really like that.
It's really delicious.
It's like, I really don't know how to describe it. Like a kind of melon, maybe. It's actually reminding me of like a sweetie I used to have when I was younger.
No, this is an Ethiopian coffee, and yeah, really complex notes. Sometimes we think mango, sometimes we could pick out pineapple, other times like a watermelon, all sorts, yeah. Passion fruit, guava. Now you've had your first cupping experience. What do you think of the coffees? Have you got an idea of what the order of your favourites are, maybe?
I think so, yeah. I think my favourite one is this one.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was the one I enjoyed straight away. So I'd go for this one, then maybe this one. And the potato one was good. That was good, the first one I tried. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'd say.
Great.
But what was interesting, like I'm obviously not as knowledgeable as you are in being able to identify the taste. But when you said that was chocolatey and it was nutty and praline, I could then see what you meant, but then I don't know if that's just you influencing me and tricking my brain into thinking, oh yeah, this is nuts. But I think I could taste it. Yeah.
There is the power of suggestion, and that's why we don't talk while we're cupping. In case we influence anyone else's mindset and thought process.
That makes sense. But no, it was really interesting, so thank you so much.
Ha mi hátáliche gyda chanich mi ri Lisa hai na sad ioliche is. coffee, agus hooky Joe Harlia, agus Joe Stúdig go. Fí mi atachig, gyda mi go ma mochtal as am hen gyn dŵr mi lorog i'r rog bin. Nishe, fí mi a hulakal skrivig shias.
I'r na program.
Are these ones good?
It's good.
Great. It's grassy.
Yeah, exactly.
Chafol in ye, eat it.